how would I create a gear with ZModeler? Probably with Radial Symmetry, and that's how I assume a lot of these gears were made. If you go into the oh, come on. I understand, you need something here. So brush insert, and you can kind of reverse engineer these things, I believe. There's not a lot of gears in there. Brush insert steam gear, there we go. Oh, and so some of these things, I know how they were created. Some of these things, I'm assuming, were created with radial symmetry. So something like this, we can actually hit W, and then we can go through and cycle through here, and we can kind of eyeball these a little bit. So something like this is probably just like a cylinder, and then you turn on radial symmetry, and then you Q-mesh, 16, and then you Q-mesh 8, and you do that. Another really easy one is to go into the gear primitive, and you can do all sorts of cool stuff with this one. I was just playing with this one the other day here. So if you go through here and you initialize, you change the width, you can skew it inside or outside, you can tilt it to be like a little coupling, you can change the interior radius, you can go in here into the outer, you can make it like a train wheel, or otherwise you can make these more or less. You can go to the outer profile. If you hit reset, that'll reset it, and you can go ahead and make these. Let's reset this, and let's just pull this up. Make these more or less, and then you can go down here to outer section, and I'm just going to hit reset on that one too. So this will let you control the profile of this outer section here, so you can kind of scoop it in, scoop it out. And then the inner height and radial count here, and then the inner profile, if we reset that, this allows you to change these profiles. And then if you go here to the inner section and we reset, now you can control where these things end up. So let's go ahead and reset that, and we'll just move this back up a little bit. So yeah, a lot of, and I think on the back here, there's some stuff you can do in the back. But anyway, that's another way to make gears. But yeah, the cylinder method would just be like, take a cylinder. This is a cylinder of 32. If you want to, you can just make polymesh 3D. You don't have to go down to initialize. We'll go to geometry, edge loop, delete loops, make this thinner. And then if we go in here to ZBrush transform, and then we'll say, I want to have symmetry turned on, but not X symmetry. We want radial symmetry, so I'm going to turn on radial symmetry here, and I want it in the Y. And then it's 32, so let's say we drop this down to 16. And then so if we go into our Q-mesh brush, we can hover our face, Q-mesh polygroup all, and we can, oops, Alt tap this one, and we can start making gears like this. And then you can go through here and you can say like slide edge this way and this way. And then we can turn symmetry off, and we can say inset. Let's do a quick group by normals. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Hold on, Alt, mark these. Inset polygroup all region, and we'll just pull this one in, and then same thing back here. And then we can just tap to get the same radius. Whoops. All right, make my brush size smaller here. Let's isolate this. Let's do a quick auto groups. There we go. And now when I do an inset, did that give me a polygroup? There. Let me make that more obvious. There you go. And then we'll do another inset, makes it the same radius. And now if we do a Q-mesh, we can just pull straight back. I'll go ahead and resolve those for us. So even in here, we can say Q-mesh polygroup island. And we can tap Alt if we want to make it separate. And we can Q-mesh polygroup island again. And then in here, we can say polygroup polyloop. And then we can say Q-mesh. You know what I like to do is you can Q-mesh this in. I like to do an inset polygroup all. And then I like to do a Q-mesh polygroup island and hold down shift just to get a little bit of a draft on that, or fall off on that thing, so you can make a gear any number of ways.